What's up guys, Brandon Judd here. Today I want to help you learn a Heelside backside 180, switch or regular, without all of the scary back edge catches at fast speeds with lots of impact. The idea is we're going to break this down into a bunch of smaller steps so it's low impact, easy to learn, and you can self-diagnose the areas where you're having the problems and work on those specifically. If there's a part of the drill that's working for you, don't feel like you have to perfect it, just check the box and move on. This series of steps is going to help you find from where you are now to where you want to be with your backside 180s without catching hard back edges in a low impact environment. So let's get to it.
So at first what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my backside slide, okay? The first place I want to do that is over here because most likely I'm not going to get the twist that I need. So I'm going to turn the board backside, break the fins free, and work on just not leaning too hard but being in a safe position. All right, so the angle of the rope on the backside slide is going to be important. It's a lot easier out here, and I don't have to twist as hard because the rope is kind of behind me. So I can turn into a backside slide right here, and I can travel a little this way. I want to eliminate that travel. I want to get to the point where I'm sliding back toward the wake. If I can do that, then it's time to do it right here in the middle of the wake. So I'm going to turn the board backside, and I don't want to go that way. I want to twist it so much without leaning too hard that I end up going this way. And then you can stop before you go outside the wake. Once you've gotten that point where you know you can twist all the way to go backwards, then you're going to go outside the wake. And you're going to do the same thing out here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edge away from the wake, flatten off, and then whip into the backside slide and see if I can continue edging out that direction until my board and my fins catch up. Remember, if you lean a lot on this, you're going to be working against yourself. So if I'm doing this and I'm leaning, it's going to be way hard on my body. Instead, if I'm not leaning very hard and I'm just going easy, it's much easier on my body. So get to the point where you're comfortable doing that outside the wake. All right, so now that I've done a backside slide on those sides of the wake, in the middle of the wake, and out here, now I'm going to play around with doing it right at the face of the wake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up the wake into the backside slide and then turn out. Nice and easy. If you aren't very comfortable with that, you might need to start, and if this intimidates you, you can slow down. So Andrew, I'll have you slow down to 15. So with it a little slower, you should be able to just find that spot right here where you can kind of backside slide and feel comfortable. You'll feel it kind of lift you. You don't want to go over and into the wake. You want to stay right at the face of the wake. See if you can just slide over it. And eventually you'll turn your way into that backside 180. What you want to do is you want to twist the board ahead of your body. Do not look away from the boat. It will mess you up. Stay looking at the wake and then finish looking at the wake. I can keep my head and chin up without ducking down by just looking up and behind myself. So that's the key. Your upper body has to be the last thing to spin. All right, so once that becomes comfortable, you might be fighting through it. You might feel like you're going to take a back edge, and you may end up falling backwards. If you fall backwards, do not hold on. Don't force it. Let go and slide out of it. So again, you can always just pop the nose over and go over the wakes if you have to. I'd prefer you go back down and out. But it may not be the easiest thing the first time. So you're going to go back foot heavy until you get halfway through, and then it's your front foot, which becomes your new back foot. So for me, left foot forward, it's going to be right foot heavy, and then left foot heavy. All right. Once that's comfortable, Andrew, you can speed up to 16. I'm going to go a little bit faster. And again, this doesn't have to be clean. I just want to be able to bounce a little and have the water respond to me. So 16 for me works great. So I'm going to do a couple little re-entry ollies just to get comfortable and make sure my legs are working. Once I know those are working, then I will pop up into the slide. So So I'm going to ollie into that slide and let it keep sliding until it turns into a backside 180. So essentially I'm ollieing the first 90 degrees of the slide. I'm impacting with setting my nose on the top of the wake and then finishing the rest of the slide on the surface. So I'm going to get ready and turn. It really feels like nothing. I'm not spinning very much. I'm not passing the handle. I'm looking at the wake and I'm setting the nose on it. And I'm staying looking at the wake. That will get you more comfortable impacting and landing on the downside of the wake. It's going to feel like that when you go wake to wake. Once you get comfortable ollieing into that backside 180, sliding into the backside 180, if you get all messed up, it almost feels like you're casing the wake as you finish. So now that I'm comfortable, Andrew, speed up to about 18. I'm going to clean it up a little bit more. It's a little faster, but I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to catch a back edge. So it's a little bit higher, and it's the exact same thing. Except now, instead of sliding, I'm landing directly on that foot. Once you're comfortable at like that mid-speed where you can ollie, but you're still going slow, we can speed up to about 18 miles an hour, which is where we're at right now for me. That gives me a little bit more air time, a little bit higher, a little cleaner wake. I'm going to end up rotating almost the entire 180. It's going to be like a 160. The last 20 degrees is spun on the top of the water. So ollie and land right into it. Again, my eyes are the most important part about this, making sure I'm staying looking forward and rotating first with my lower body. And I push my board through it. My upper body is along for the ride. So watch my lower body. All I'm doing is ollieing and turning my lower body. I could still look back over my shoulder and see you, right? You can play around with that at slower speeds. Once you get it going a little bit faster, it's a little bit less drag, a little harder to hold on. You won't wear this arm out so much. But again, you don't need to lean a lot. You just need to twist a lot. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm going to set myself up for the wake-to-wake version. So we're going to slow back down, and I'll do a couple inside-out ones with some traveling. So Andrew, if you could slow back down to about 16 miles an hour, that would be fantastic. All right, now that we're going nice and slow, I'm going to use this side of the wake to gain momentum ollie early so that I land on the side of the wake that I am planning on impacting blind with. So edge, flat, ollie early, and then I want you to step on the bubble. So right on the whitewash. So edge, flat, ollie early, step on the whitewash. From there, you're just shifting the board and stepping with your front foot. So you're going to edge, flat, step on the whitewash. All right, I'm going to repeat that process a couple times until it feels normal and natural. So I'm going to edge, go flat, ollie early, land on the downside. You're going to do that and then the same thing we practiced right here. Just a couple times back to back. So edge, flat, ollie early, impact down the wake. And then come back to the wake, re-entry backside 180. Those are feeling pretty good. So it's time to take it wake to wake. We're going to shorten up the rope significantly, about 10 to 15 feet or so, to make it really easy to land on the downside of that wake. We're also going to lift the boat so that the takeoff side is clean, the landing side is all bubbly. So now what we've done is I've shortened the rope up to 50 feet, so it's nice and short. We've lifted the boat slightly to favor my takeoff, so the landing side is really washy. My takeoff side is nice and clean. I'm going about 17 miles an hour, really, really mellow. Again, this is what we were doing the drills at on that side of the wake. So I'm just going to make sure that the distance is right, make sure that everything is feeling comfortable, and I'm just going to do a couple wake jumps, and I'm going to think about the 180 in preparation. So nice, soft, flat legs, good push, and you kind of want to land right on the bubble. So it's okay if you get a bit of a splash. Soft, neutral, knees bent, not leaning too hard, stand tall. All right, so for the wake jump, what you're going to want to focus on is not loading and leaning really hard. A lot of people do a really loaded air, and that's going to create lots of line tension for you and make it hard to stay neutral when you're going to blind. All right, so the importance of the wake jump, setting it up properly, you really want to make sure that you're edging out with a nice crisp, quick edge out, and then right when you go flat to coast, watch my knees and chest. It's not like a traditional loaded progressive edge, more of an ollie edge. So you're going to edge tall and then flatten off quickly and get nice and bent. Then you're going to let the pendulum swing bring you in and push with your legs. That's going to take you straight up and keep you comfortable with the line tension. So one more time. Squat. Come in. Stand tall. Land on the bubbles on the downside. All right. So now I'm ready to take it wake to wake. Keep in mind, you don't have to fill the ballast up all the way. You can keep your wake as easy and mellow as you want. Going slow with a short line is going to peak the wake up naturally anyway. So I'm going to do a backside 180, and remember, wait to spin until you're on the way down. So one good edge out, squat, and then you're going to pop on the way up, spin on the way down. All right, so it's important to know that it really feels like you have to wait a very long time when you start taking it wake to wake. You're going to pop on the way up, spot your landing just like we did on the re-entry, and then you're going to spin on the way down, and it's all lower body. So I use that same ollie edge pop, and I look at my landing, and then I just step on it the same way that we did before. The backside 180 is more of a landing position than it is a spin. So I'm going to edge out, squat, come in nice and easy, pop on the way up, spin on the way down. See how I just looked and impacted. I'm going to do that again. Pay attention to my eyes and my hips and my board and how they work together. And then I always want to have a gentle edge away from the wake. You don't want to get in the habit of stopping at the wake, but you don't want to crank on a hard edge either. So once again, pop on the way up, spot your landing. If it feels good at the apex, then go for it. If it doesn't, you can bail. So nice and squatted, using legs, pop on the way up, spin on the way down. There we go. Your goal should be to land cuffed if you can. You don't have to land blind every time, but you can. Now, the ideal way to land this is you want to impact blind at the top of the wake and then finish cuffed by the bottom of the wake. You can even do that in your practice. You're going to impact blind and then finish cuffed. The reason you want to finish cuffed is cuffed gives you a bunch of exits. So I can have too much line tension and stitch the handle and ride away, or I can keep two hands on it and try to stick it out, or I can slide back out of it if I feel like I'm going to take it back edge. There's a ton of different exits you have when you have two hands on the handle by the bottom of the wake, because that's when you're going to get the most line tension. Remember, you don't want to start turning your head right off the wake. You want to spot the water and then step on it. Do that again for you guys. Nice and easy. Spot the water, step on the landing. I'm going to look right at the spot I land on, and I just step on it. Right here, impact on it. Once you get comfortable, and you can do this pretty good, pretty consistently, you'll let the rope out and speed up a little bit and go a little bit bigger, because you're going to have to test your patience. You're going to have to wait longer. The bigger you go, the longer your line is, the more you have to wait before you twist into that landing position.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope that made your Heelside backside 180 a little bit more achievable, a little less scary, with fewer back edge catches and injuries. So if you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to comment on this video. You can reach out to me directly at wakecoaches.com. You can also link up with me in person or virtually at wakecoaches.com, and we can get you coached at your location or out with me or remotely. Again, I would love to help you reach your goals. If you're also looking for just some general advice and want to be connected with the community, I've got a Facebook group called Wakeboard Instruction. I'll link that group here on this video as well. There's a bunch of other coaches and veteran members that are able to help you get through some of those hurdles that you may run into depending on what you're working on. It's a great open group that would love to help you reach your goals as well. So let's connect and let's get you learning really quick on the water. Thanks so much.